The first year was very exciting. We accomplished a lot from starting our first virtual school to the $600 million capital plan. And of course, student achievement is always the goal, from getting an A on the graduation rate and career college readiness rate to 89% of our third graders passed the test the first time, to summer programs, to partnerships. A very effective and exciting first year. Year two, we're just building a momentum. We're really, our enrollment is up, our hiring is up, teachers are excited. So we just want to build on that momentum, keep the city engaged, keep our students empowered, and move Huntsville City forward. We're entering our second year with a partnership with Toyota, our Driving Possibilities grant. Two parts. First, we're building our new Career Tech Center. As you can see it rising up now, we'll be in next summer, where we have industrial maintenance there. They're helping us with the programming, the curriculum, and even the instructor. But also, we also have a mentoring program for our teachers. And we hit the ground running. It goes to test scores increasing and teacher retention. So we're very excited about the partnership. Yes. Okay. With those programs, we have a partnership with each program, from health sciences with the hospital until industrial maintenance with Toyota. And with that, we work with our curriculum where those students can get the skills, the equipment they need, so when they leave Huntsville City Schools, they go straight to the workforce.
And they get credit for that.
And they get high school credit for that. And some even dual enrollment credit.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's not part of our capital plan. Most likely they reside in an area where you can select both. It's probably the East Limestone crossover with Madison and us. So if they receive that letter, that's probably the possibility. So it's not part of our plan. It's probably more of their location. Well, the question is, what I'm paying was twofold. First, I'll talk about the great work we're doing at Columbia High School. Columbia High School is a great location, a research park, and we want to put an emphasis on that. It's one of our fastest growing high schools with the growth in that area. So we moved from the IB program to project-based learning. Very excited about that. With the investment, we invested into the athletic program with new buildings, new fields there, but we also invested in an innovation lab in the center of Columbia High School. There we have partnerships with 12 companies right in that location, where we come in the curriculum is project-based. We're now geared to programming, where the students present, they do research, and they give to the community. Not only that, we have a partnership with Calhoun Community College, where those students go into 12 different strands where they get college credit and also credentials when they leave the high school. So we're very excited about that. We also added extra resources there, extra administrators, but the engagement piece is the piece in that zone. So we're really excited about that. As far as cell phone use, we always had a policy with cell phone. Recently, the Department of Education wanted to limit the use of cell phones in schools. So what we did, we already had this policy, we're just going to enforce it. We're asking students not to use it during instructional time. We don't want to take it from them until we talk to the community. So this year we're going to a lot of town hall meetings to get feedback from the community, because we didn't want to make a knee-jerk decision without input, because we really want to serve our city. So we are doing that, but we are requesting the parents all over our district to limit cell phone use throughout the school day, especially during instructional time.
Thank you for addressing that. And as far as accreditation for Columbia?
Oh, they're fully accredited. Their test scores up. We can't announce the test scores yet, but we'll be excited to announce where they are, and we're improving every day. But they are accredited, just like every school in Huntsville City Schools. Again, if people can go see the investment that we put in that school and the new curriculum and the staff we have, there will be excitement in that area. I think it's a miscommunication of the definition. We have no failing schools in Huntsville City Schools. Since 2015, they ruled failing schools based on a report card. We have no failing schools in Huntsville City Schools. Now, what we do have priority schools, which is a new definition, just started last year. So a lot of people had the definitions confused. We have priority schools. Now, priority schools, they included in a school to receive a D or an F. We have 0 Fs in Huntsville City Schools. We do have a few schools with Ds, and not just in the district, across our district. Not many, but we have some. The priority things, like we put a focus in those schools, so they get a math coach, they get a reading coach. So What it allows us to do is put more resources, not only from us, from the state of Alabama, into those schools to make sure they are successful. So there is a miscommunication. I'm going to the community to explain the difference, but it's a new definition that started 2023. With that, it's attached some federal money, which we can add now some supplemental services to those schools, and we're very excited about that.
Thank you for addressing that. And off the top, do you know which schools those are that are the not the failing schools, but the
Priority school, we have about 9 of them.
Do you know any of the names?
I can, but I want to look at the list because the scores are actually a year in the rear, so the scores are not recent. I will come back and interview with you when the scores come out, and then we can address those schools at that time.
Thank you for that. School district.
Actually, it starts this year. We actually worked on training last week, trained administrators. We worked on training teachers this week, as they welcome back yesterday. Really, it's empowering teachers, but it's our job to support teachers while supporting students. We want students in the classroom engaged, but there are some behaviors that we're addressing. We have a plan to work on classroom management. We have a plan to communicate with parents. Again, we'll be going to community. I have to discuss the plan with parents. We're asking parents to talk to their students about cutting down behaviors in the classroom, where they can really work on that, on their student achievement, where they can work on their assignments. So we do have a plan. We're going to train parents, we train teachers, we train administrators, and it really is focused on administrators' response. So we have a response system. I'm very proud to work at Huntsville City Schools. We have the largest security force in North Alabama. They are trained to respond to circumstances. And not only respond, what we did, we want to correct behavior. So we're not here to exclude students. We're here to correct behavior, but we want to support teachers. Teachers are designed to give quality instruction. And so we want a program in place. We want procedures in place to allow that. So we're working with parents, not against parents, to make sure we support teachers so we can improve student achievement.
Thank you so much. That's it for me. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I just thank you for the time. We're very excited for the school year. We're asking the community to support us as we support their students, and let's move Huntsville forward.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Sutton. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, we had our Institute Day yesterday, and it was great. We all met together. Normally, we can't get everybody together because of the size of our staff of 1,400, but we were able to meet at the Church of the Highlands. They gave us their facility to use, so we were able to have all 1,400 staff together for the first time in many years. And our theme this year is Celebrate. You know, we've got so many great things going on in our school district, and we had so many great things last year that we want our people to take time this year and not just let those pass by, not think they're just commonplace. Really stop, and we want to celebrate our staff, our faculty, our students, and our community as a whole. Staffing has been great. Our HR department has done a wonderful job along with our administrators. We've had a great pool of candidates. Of course, in Madison, we always have a growing population, so we're always, planning for growth. That's always a challenge. You're not funded that way in Alabama, so we try to get out ahead, and we really worked hard in May and April and June, and we're in a great place right now. I think that other than some last-minute positions that are open, we have everything full, and we're excited about having that, getting started with full group of folks to meet our kids.
So are you short any teachers?
No, right now, the only ones we're short are a few last-minute changes where someone may have left, and we're filling those spots. So we don't have a shortage of applicants. It's just a matter of the posting laws in Alabama and taking time to go through the interview process.
What about bus drivers? Any shortage in that area?
We have a full group of bus drivers and custodians, and we're excited about that. Our bus drivers were with us yesterday, and we transport about 204 routes a day. Elementary and secondary, and we're glad to have a full contingency of folks to get us started for the new school year. Well, last year we invested in an alarm system, a strategic system, a rapid alert system that every employee carries on a badge. We also secured at a heightened level our doors and entryways. This year we're expanding our security staff. Last year we contracted out extra security beside our SROs. And we'll add those this year to the middle school. We'll also add an additional one to both high schools, and we're kind of securing those parameters of the school. We're going to put up gating for those areas, but these security will mainly be on the back side of the school for entrance. And we're looking by Christmas of expanding our SROs so that we can get to having one in every elementary school. We have 2 at each high school and 1 at each middle school, but we'd like to get to a full contingency of having those at each school. So we're looking at expanding those types of programs for all of our schools this year.
And then as far as cybersecurity, I know you guys have also had a few problems with that in the past. Any updates on that?
We have reached out. I think most school districts are going to do this, and our tech director, Mr. Payon, we've reached out to some cybersecurity companies in the Huntsville area and outsourced some of our equipment, some of our servers to them. They have a much better ability to guard and look and stay on front of that. And so we did that about a year ago, and that has been very helpful to us. Even as recently as some things that have happened nationally, they're on the front end of that. And so we certainly appreciate that partnership that we have. It's been great, and we remind everybody when school starts next week that you are going through school zones. We have a lot of kids, although we transport about 50% of our kids, almost 7,000 a day. We also have a lot of neighborhoods near our schools, and so kids and parents are walking to school, and I always remind them, remember to slow down. But we've been working with the Madison Police Department, Chief Gandy and his staff, and traffic division if we had someone pass a bus to turn that information in. And I think there were a couple incidents last year where folks got a visit from the Madison Police Department about not to pass a school bus. So we will continue to work with them this year and make that transportation moment to school safe. That's we have 3 schools on county line. That's a lot of traffic in the morning, and our safety guards are out there letting kids cross from those neighborhoods, and just remind folks that things, especially next week, first few days of school, everything's going to be a little slower than normal, so you might want to leave early to go to work. Yeah, we will not have school cell phones out during the instruction time this year. So when students are in a classroom, their phones will either be in a backpack, or if a teacher has a designated place, they will be in those. They can have them out in the hallway. They can have them at their lunchtime or break time, but they will not have them out during instruction time. If we were to have problems, then we would probably look at those non-instruction times. But right now, we did a survey of our parents, and 60% parents, even students, said there's really no need unless there's an instructional reason, and then teachers can do that. They'd need to let their principal know. So, we're balanced. We know those parents have that anxiety about how to get in touch with their kid if there was something going on in the school, but at the same time, we also want to make sure that we're focused on instruction during those times. And so that's a little change for us this year. Yes, I mean, that's, we have always felt like that, and as I said to the staff yesterday in our institute, no one should disrupt the learning environment. No one. Adult, student, anyone. The learning environment should be a place that we support to be the learning environment. If someone is disruptive of that environment, if someone is threatening to anyone, another student, a teacher, anyone, they can expect to be disciplined. We have an alternative school. It's not where we want to put kids, but if you are disruptive, if you cause continual problems, then we will have the opportunity to suspend you to that. We also feel that way about fights. That's probably the most disruptive thing you can have, and we don't have a lot of those, but when you have one, they are disruptive. And if students engage in that, then they can expect to be suspended. You know, we're always telling our kids to be proactive. We have enrichment counselors. We have all kinds of support. And if you're beginning to feel like there's an issue with another student, before that happens, let us help you so that you don't get in that situation. But yeah, we don't have any tolerance on disrupting or bullying or threatening students in the school district. And we have a new disciplinary software called Bloom. So we can track when students are sent to the office. We can track how they're handled in the office. We can look at the timeline on that. But it also allows us to give counseling resources. So if a teacher is told that there's an issue, they can put that in there. It alerts the counselors, and maybe we can head off those issues that become a disruption. We do not have weapons detected in Madison at this time. It's something that we may look at in the future, but at this time we don't. If we see that there's an increase of those issues, that we might look at that, but right now we've been pretty stable that we haven't had a lot of those issues. Well, I think that, you know, we get calls all the time from people that say, you know, I want my child to come to Madison. And we explain to them that you have to reside in Madison. And the reason is the folks in Madison have voted to pay an extra level of ad valorem tax on their homes. I don't think it's a surprise to most realtors or anybody that homes in Madison are more expensive than anywhere else probably around us. And the reason is there's a premium on folks that want to live in this area and put their kids in our school district. And we take pride that folks want to be here. But you know, our student services and registration folks do a tremendous job of working and looking at where folks live and making sure. And I always tell people that are moving into our area, before you buy a place, if you're trying to get with us, contact us, because we can tell you the areas that are in Madison. You know, every year we get somebody who has a Madison address but is not in Madison City. Your zip code does not declare that you are in or out of the city limits. And so if you'll call our district office, we certainly will be glad to help you. And most realtors know those boundaries as well. Well, I think first of all, making sure your students, that you are communicating. We have so many ways of communicating with your teacher now. Teachers post their lessons on Schoology, and teachers have all types of information they send out. Be engaged. You know, you can get a code and see your kids' grades. You can see their progress reports. All of that are at parents' fingertips. So number one is be informed. We give you these opportunities. Be informed. Second is, if you feel like your student is struggling, don't wait. Contact their counselor, contact the teacher, contact anybody at the school. We will support you and help you. Many times the problem is somebody's not keeping up. We get to the end of a semester. Well, it's hard to fix at the end. And if we could have that communication early on, but our folks do a tremendous job of communicating with parents and letting them know if they see a student beginning to slide, and asking, you know, to have a meeting or giving information. So I think the number one thing is just be involved and take those resources that are at your fingertips and use them. Well, we're going to celebrate. I think the podcast thing this year will be, you know, to celebrate great programs. We try to do that anyway. But, you know, we did an 11-minute video at Institute yesterday. We didn't hire a speaker. We decided that the best speaker we knew would be pictures of the things that we had enjoyed last year, and what that looked like, and remind teachers of those moments. I think sometimes as educators, we're so engaged. I know when I was a teacher, I'm not sure I enjoyed those moments when my band excelled. I think I was too worried about the next moment. And so I want our folks to stop and to enjoy the successes they have and the successes that our kids have and not forget them. And so one of our goals this year is at the end of the school year, bring everybody back together and look at the video and remind ourselves this is what happened. So I think our podcast will be focused on what are the things we're celebrating right now.
We're in good shape. We've had our open houses. We've had posted rosters for our students, so kids are assigned to classrooms. Our teachers will come in on Friday, and our kids will start next Wednesday. So we're right where we should be at this time of year. No, we do not have all our slots filled. All of the classrooms are filled, so if you have a classroom teacher, all of those assignments are filled. But some of our special areas, special education teachers, there's a shortage. We still have coverage for all kids, so our kids are going to be taken care of, but we are dealing with a teacher shortage, and we do have some special areas where we still got to fill some positions.
Any particular things y'all are doing to kind of A, put the message out, or B, kind of recruit and retain?
I mean, we're always recruiting. We're recruiting year round. You know, the problem we have is we had 16 resignations last week. We hired 17, but we lost 16. You know, it's just people getting jobs closer to home. So we're always hiring. It's just, when you have 16 openings and you got, 4 applicants, you just have to continually post jobs. We contract with retired teachers. That's something we do a lot of. I probably have over 20 that have retired that can come back and make money. So we'll contract with people, and obviously we'll do our best. This is no different than it was last year. Last year we were in a continual hiring cycle. I don't think we ever were fully staffed. That's just a sign of the times. In terms of colleges aren't producing as many teachers. But in terms of the actual classroom teacher, particularly at the elementary level, all of those classrooms are filled. It's more of the specialty areas. I never thought we'd see a day where you couldn't find a PE teacher. Even those positions are hard to fill now. I think we're on this board agenda, we're going to hire a PE teacher, and those would normally be filled well in advance. What parents need to know is in terms of your kid getting an education, all of the important positions are staffed. Your child will have a certified teacher, but we are dealing with a tremendous teacher shortage, and I do think that's only going to increase as the years go by. We preach growth in this district. I mean, every year, regardless of where we are, we want to be better the next year. So I want to be better in all aspects. Obviously, reading and math are always a focus, but I want to be better in science and social studies. We want to do a good job making sure our fine arts programs are top notch, and obviously we want our athletic programs. We really want to develop the whole child. We want to ensure that all of our programs, whether it be academic, athletic, or the fine arts, we want to make sure all those are just top notch. We had already done, probably 3 years ago, we did a crackdown in the classroom. So, I mean, our students already weren't allowed to take a device and have it out in the learning environment. We do allow the cell phone kind of at lunch and in other areas, but we had already done the crackdown in the classroom because it was becoming a distraction to the learning environment. So we're going to try that again this year. Obviously, if the state wants to take more extreme measures, we'll follow suit. But what we have is working here in Decatur, so in terms of what we're doing, we don't have any changes for this year. Yes, I mean, obviously that's a law. We feel like we've always done a good job in terms of taking care of our teachers, but we did spend the summer like everyone else making sure we're compliant with the law. We had committees. We had teachers on those committees. We'll probably have a lot more district-wide classroom management plans. Part of the law requires every teacher to have a classroom management plan. I've been doing this 27 years, every teacher I've known already has a classroom management plan, but now it's in law, so now you got to make sure that it's published and everybody knows what it is. So, but yes, we'll follow the new law, and we have met to make sure that everything we're doing is in compliance with that law. For our community, next Wednesday, the traffic picks up. Also, I always ask parents to be patient. You know, the first 8 days of school, traffic's backed up. People are still trying to figure out their new school, how to get there. I assure you, in about a week, we'll have all of that ironed out. Pickup times, you know, it's amazing. The first day it may take 30 minutes, and then 2 weeks in it's taking 5 minutes. But those are just things we ask our community to be patient. Obviously, you do have young 16-year-old drivers, students that just got their license. You want to be mindful of that. And I would tell parents, if you've got those new drivers, you know, have the kid leave early, go slow, you know, but yeah, make sure that we're respectful of buses. But buses will be hitting the road next Wednesday, and if you live in Decatur as I do, you know, there's a noticeable difference in traffic here when school starts. So next Wednesday, allow yourself a little bit more time to get to work. Well, Career Academies, it opened in 2018, but it only serviced kids that wanted to come from the high school. What we discovered is we were servicing over 1,000 kids a day, and we had several kids that they were just flourishing at Career Academies, but weren't as successful at their existing high school. We just felt like our students needed a third option. The typical 4x4 curriculum isn't for every kid. There are some kids that, you know, they don't care about the sports, they don't care about anything else. They want to go learn a trade, and they want a co-op. So we really said, let's put it out there, see if there's an interest. We had community meetings, overwhelming feedback. We needed to do this. This will allow our kids to graduate early, to co-op, to make money, and more importantly, through embedded credit, you know, they don't have to take as many courses in areas that aren't of interest. You know, someone that wants to learn a skilled trade, I can teach them 4 years to be a precision machinist. And through embedded credit, you know, they don't have to take all those Englishes, maths, and sciences that aren't of an interest to them. And particularly with what happened with wages in this area, you know, skilled trade is making more than some college degrees now. So we just felt like it serviced our community, and we wanted to give our kids, some kids, the traditional high school is not what they want. We'll be the first in the state along with Baldwin County. I can tell you we've had about 20 other school districts want to tour and want to see what we're doing. So I really think this is a trend you're going to see statewide, and Decatur's happy to be on the forefront of that. Yeah, we're trying to put out a workforce. Obviously, we've got the career tech classes, welding. Welding's in high demand, precision machining. We already have great partnerships to get our kids precision machining jobs in the area. We've got automotive. We're sitting here in Mazda Toyota's backyard. Why would we not offer automotive? We offer the culinary arts, hospitality and tourism. Obviously, we have a very vibrant health science program where we put out nurses and doctors. We have a sports medicine for those that want to go to school and be a trainer. We got cosmetology and barbering for those that want to be entrepreneurs. Just tons of programs. And truthfully, with this becoming a new high school, we're already looking to add more programs. We hope to add aviation, train kids how to do drones in addition to getting pilots licenses. We're looking at some more STEM stuff, mechatronics, which is kind of a branch off of robotics. So it's only going to grow, and basically what we're trying to do is feed the workforce in this area, and we kind of wanted to be responsive. As we grow the program, we want to make sure that's where the jobs are in this area. Immunizations, obviously, you can't come to school unless your blue slip's up to date, but also, most importantly, start getting your kids on a good sleep pattern. Let's make sure we start that well in advance. Let's make sure they're well fed. Very excited this year, all breakfast and lunch is paid for by the district, so you know you don't have to worry about your kid eating at school or trying to find the money with what's happening with inflation and prices. Decatur is extremely excited that this year every student in our district, breakfast and lunch is free. So send your kid to school, we'll make sure they're well fed, we're going to teach them, but you can help me out, make sure they've done all their summer assignments. We're a district, we put out summer assignments because that's what the top-notch school systems do. Make sure those are completed, get their sleep, and we're going to feed them and educate them. Absolutely, and it's not just athletic events. You know, we have security personnel. All visitors come in our building and they go through our open gate system. You know, we make sure that, you know, our kids are safe at all time. All kids walk through that. Students, if you're looking for, parents, if you're looking for another tip, obviously those school supply lists are out there. But our open gate system, if you'll get the plastic 3-ring binder, your kid won't have to take that binder out of their backpack. But we make sure our kids are safe in Decatur and we take care of them. But that's another tip for our parents. Get those 3-ring binders with the plastic spine. Yeah, extremely excited. You know, this year there will be the fanfare over Career Tech. Next fall we're opening a brand new pre-K center. This will allow us to remove all those kids that are on waiting lists for pre-K to get pre-K. It also frees up, every elementary school will then have extra classroom space because all the pre-K kids will go to this standalone pre-K center. It'll allow us to focus strictly on pre-K, make sure we're getting consistency with our pre-K so that all pre-K students are getting the same curriculum, an administrator that's solely focused on pre-K. And then when Decatur grows, you know, the growth in Decatur, nobody can really predict it, but by freeing up room in every single elementary school, it doesn't matter where Decatur grows, we're going to be able to accommodate that growth because we're going to remove those students from every single elementary school. I'm extremely excited. I do think the research is there. Alabama's pre-K is the best in the nation. And we feel like by having a standalone pre-K, you know, we're going to be able to provide probably one of the best pre-Ks in the state. So it was needed for a multitude of reasons, but most importantly, when kids start out kindergarten on grade level, they don't get behind. The challenge is when a kid starts behind, it's hard to catch them up. So this was our way to make sure that every kid in Decatur that wanted a pre-K opportunity, we're going to provide them that opportunity.
Process.
It's early on in the process. We'll probably finish the building in December. January, February is when we start registering. But the way we currently have it, we have about 21 pre-Ks currently. This will allow us to go to 24. Every year we have about 30 kids on a wait list. So this will allow us to accommodate that extra 30 kids that we miss from year to year. Hopefully in years to come we'll have to expand. I would love to see a day when, you know, all parents choose pre-K, but a lot of our parents, if they don't go to our pre-K, they go to a church pre-K or a different pre-K. But this center will allow us to accommodate what we've seen over the last 5 to 10 years in terms of numbers.
Determination on that?
Well, no sports will be offered at the school. So the Career Academies, you know, it really is that unique experience. You're trying to get in, learn a skilled trade, go to work. So at the academy, you know, no athletics will be offered. So we didn't really sell it to kids. We really sold it to kids. Hey, if you want to play sports, stay at your existing high school. If we had 1 or 2 kids that, hey, wanted to go back and play, there is a provision where if you don't offer sports at that school, you can play. But we're not really pushing that. That's not who we recruited to come to the school. And so I think that number would be very minimal. But if I had somebody that, say, wanted to be on the golf team, they could go back to their home school zone and they could play golf.
Mm-hmm. Do y'all have official colors and a logo yet for this new high school?
Hope to have that approved today. You know, obviously I would tell you, but it hadn't been board approved, and I don't want to take my board for granted, but we hope to have colors. They've been working all summer on that. We hope to have colors and a logo approved today.
This year?
You know, well, last year we went and hired 2 additional licensed professional counselors. Obviously, we also have partnerships with different mental health agencies to provide mental health, not just for our students, but also for our faculty. We actually pay for that as a district because we want to make sure our kids are taken care of, but we want to make sure our employees are taken care of as well. But you know, we've hired extra counselors. We partner with different outside agencies. We're doing all we can. Obviously, we teach character education because, you know, we want our kids to be not only good academically, but we want them to have good high character. And then, you know, we're always looking at digital citizenship in this day and age, you know, with the devices that kids have access to, you know, how to be a good person online, how to be respectful of others online, and, you know, how to have good digital citizenship with all the new technology that's out there these days.
Well, we're just so excited to get started. We've had 2 days of professional learning, and so teachers are back in the buildings, and everybody's excited and ready for kids to show up. Well, I've learned lots of lessons over the past several years as superintendent. Something to implement this school year, I think just really valuing the teachers and encouraging them to stay. You know, we've had a lot of turnover like everybody else in the state, and I think just being intentional about showing that support and encouragement. Yes, we had our new teacher orientation yesterday. It was fabulous, but yes, 50 new teachers, so that's very exciting, but we also want to provide the support that they need. Some of them are brand new teachers, some are coming to us from other school systems, but we're very excited to have them. But that is a lot of turnover for Athens, and we had lots of retirements this year, which we expected, but it's exciting to have new people come on board. Right now, I believe we have every position filled. Of course, we would like to have additional special education teachers. We're still looking for a few aides. We're always looking for bus drivers. So a few positions that are still out there, but most of the positions have been filled. So we have always had police officers at our secondary schools, but this will be the first year that we've incorporated school resource officers at our elementary school, so we're so excited about that.
And what made the change? Why is this being implemented now rather than sooner or later?
Well, this is something we've always wanted, and we've worked with Athens Police Department to try to get this going, but we've just had a shortage of officers in general. So this is the first year that we've actually been able to implement this. Well, definitely for that extra layer of safety and security, but also for the officers to be able to develop those relationships with students, and students to know that those officers are there to protect them and help them. Well, we are going over that new law with our teachers as they come back to school. I really don't see any changes for us. You know, we've always done our best to support and encourage teachers in the classroom. This just gives a little bit more clarity as to what the expectations are, and we will be writing a policy to address that. We're just kind of waiting on the state to give their model policy, but we've been looking at that and introducing that to teachers to make sure they know their rights.
And that'll happen as soon as this year? It's happening right now?
It's happening now. We're already introducing our teachers to the new bill, but we haven't finalized our policy yet. We're just waiting to see for sure what the state puts out before we finalize ours. Oh wow, well I'm most excited to get kids back in the buildings, and I'm very excited about all of the capital projects we have going. You know, we have a new elementary school being built. We have an addition to Athens Intermediate School, which is 8 classrooms, an additional gym, which will also be a storm shelter, which is a huge asset for our teachers and students and faculty. So lots of capital projects, lots of great things going on in Athens. Well, we love seeing the growth, but you know, in education, it's hard to keep up with that because it takes a long time to build schools. So we're constantly looking at numbers and trying to make sure that we have a plan in place for all students to have a great spot to be, and also to keep our class sizes low like we've always had them. So it takes a lot of planning.
Yeah, we're really excited about what we did at Johnson Elementary. Some work is still in progress, but for the most part, it's all been completed. And so we did major renovations starting last summer. We put down new flooring, new painting, new ceiling tile, new lights. This summer, we started building last year, but started building a new wing onto Johnson as well. So we have 16 new classrooms that we've added on here at Johnson, and it's ready to go. And we're really excited about those new classrooms. We have new furniture that we were able to put in those classrooms as well. And so that will allow us, as we went through the redistricting process last spring, this will allow us to receive more kids here at Johnson Elementary. So right now we've had about 60 new students sign up from Creekside into this facility. It will be eventually well over 100, but they were able to phase in coming to Johnson, and so it wasn't immediate, everyone had to come right away. They were able to phase into this facility. It will. We'll, of course, look at the numbers and see what our class sizes look like. I've just provided that actually today. And so we'll look at that and see if we have to move any teachers around or add in new additional teachers based on class size. But that will take place in the near future. We do have a board meeting on July 30th, which will hopefully hire our last few remaining teachers. I will say I'm very happy with the number of new teachers that we've hired so far, and we're well ahead of the game and feel like by July 30th when the board meets, we'll have most of our teachers hired by that point. Well, you know, we also are opening the new Elkmont Elementary as well, and so that facility will house students from Piney Chapel and students, of course, from Elkmont, which will allow us to have plenty of room in the new facility, but also plenty of room at Elkmont High School, which will take over the elementary addition as well. That school had many portables located on the campus, and so we won't need those portables any longer once we do our renovations on the elementary side of the building. So we're really excited about that. I think we're able to handle our growth for the future, able to have plenty of room for our students, provide them with plenty of opportunities. And one of the things I think teachers will be really excited about, and of course, there are many teachers here today at Johnson working, and if you go around to all of our schools, I think that shows you a lot about the dedication of our teachers. But you'll find teachers will be very happy when they enter those new classrooms. They see the upgrades that have been made, but also in the new classrooms, we have a lot of space, a lot of storage space. And so, you know, using teacher input, we were able to develop the new Elkmont Elementary, but then also we took one of those wings and basically placed it over here at Johnson as well. And so I think we're excited about our new additions. We've done some additional work at East Limestone High School as well, with some renovations in the back middle grades hallway. And so we're excited about that, with redoing the flooring, you know, new lighting, new ceiling tile, new painting. We're super excited about that. We put in a new road at Creekside, and so Creekside right now has well over 1,000 kids, both at the elementary, 500, over 500 at the elementary, and over 500 at the primary school. And so, of course, that's a lot of traffic. And so we were able to put in a road there at Creekside, which I think is going to really help with our traffic there on that campus. And so I think parents taking their students to Creekside will really appreciate that new drive going into that facility. And we really planned that here as well. We have a new drive into Johnson, which we can get all the parents hopefully off of the road so they don't have to back up on the road. We did that at Creekside and Elkmont the same way. We have a big frontage road, but then also a road that goes around the school facility so parents can get off the highway, be safe, and allow their kids to exit their cars and then get back onto the highway in a very orderly manner. Well, I think it's always important to make sure that you go to open house. We have open house next Monday night at our high schools, And then Tuesday, we'll have open house at our elementary schools. As part of that open house, at 2:30, we're going to have a ribbon cutting at Elkmont Elementary. Then we'll come over to Johnson at 3:30 and have a ribbon cutting here as well as we welcome the new students in for open house. So I think that's so important for parents to bring their students out, their children out to open house so they can learn if there's any last minute supplies they need to get, if any certain directions from the teacher to find out what bus their child's going to ride. All of that information is really important to find out up front, and I think that leads to a successful start of the school year when you have all that information on hand. Well, certainly. We've been looking at that. We've still got some work to do, but we're starting to meet with our principals starting tomorrow. And so we'll talk to them about the Teacher Bill of Rights. And, you know, to me, it goes back to just making sure that we as administrators support our teachers in the classroom. That's vitally important. We want to do that here in Limestone County. We want to communicate with our teachers to make sure that if they do have a student that is being disruptive, that we're able to work with them and come up with some measures to take care of that disruption. So I really think, you know, it is a law that's going to be in place, a new rule that's going to be in place, but we want to get in front of that and make sure that we're supporting our teachers each and every day. Well, and I think attendance has been an issue, you know, even when you go right past COVID, you know, where, you know, we were in school and out of school, and it became kind of the norm that it was okay to stay out of school. Well, that has ended, and it's time to make sure we have our students in school each and every day. You know, we don't want you sending your child to school sick, of course, but we do want your child in school. And each and every day they can be in school, it does make a difference. It does matter academically, you know, just with the getting used to the norm of attending school each and every day, you know, that transfers over to work as well, where we want to make sure they're good citizens. They know that it's important to attend school each and every day, just like it will be to attend work each and every day. So we want to make sure that they're on time, prepared to start the day. And all of that's super important because we go back to supporting our teachers to making sure that students are coming prepared to start the school day.
Well, being a growing system, we face a lot of challenges with, you know, all the additional students. And we are actually making steps forward towards handling some of that growth. We're building a new school. We just went through the bid process and it was just awarded. And so we are going to be building a new school out in the Tony area. And it's going to serve the Harvest and Madison Crossroads, Tony, and Sparkman Middle School areas. And it's going to be an intermediate school. And what we're going to do is the 5th and the 6th grades, the 4th and the 5th grades from Harvest and from Madison Crossroads will come out of those two schools to alleviate the growth problem there and the overcrowded problem. And we're going to take the 6th grade out of Sparkman Middle School to alleviate some of the overcrowding there. And so the new school will house 4, 5, and 6 for that area. So we're real excited about that. That if everything goes well, which we're planning for it to be open in the 26-27 school year. So it'll be open in the fall. Correct. We've had capital meetings with our board members, and there's other things in store. One of the things that we're looking at is we are reinventing our career tech programs here. We're in the process of securing an additional location so that we can grow it into a more modern workforce development. And so we're real excited about that. There'll be more of that to come shortly. But at the board meeting last night, we approved moving forward with that plan as well. We are going to have to put some learning cottages on some of our campuses just because it is the quickest way to deal with some of the overcrowding. But we want to limit that as much as possible. We prefer not to have learning cottages, which are portables. but it's a necessity. We are looking at the possibility of some other schools in some areas, as well as some additions to some of our schools. Well, one of the things that you've seen a lot about is, of course, there's a lot of research that's coming out more and more about how cell phones with students, it basically is, the research is indicating that, it's a detriment to the education process as well as discipline issues. And so we're taking steps towards limiting that. We already have policies in place where they can be limited at the school unless the principal decides otherwise. Some of our schools are going to pilot some programs and make it a little bit stronger enforcement. But we also, in order to secure and start on the process of making this, instead of it being so, I guess, for lack of a better term, cold turkey, and we're going to do an extreme, we're building into it. And the way we're starting that is by limiting the Wi-Fi access at the schools. We have options for them to use electronic devices as far as computers and laptops and Chromebooks. So they have access to those things. But as far as a need for their cell phones, there isn't. So we are going to limit the Wi-Fi usage and not allow them to be on the network there, which will also help with a lot of the academic structures that we need for the internet usage as it is. So that's a big thing right now, and this is the beginning steps into a larger solution. We're going to pilot some other programs at a couple of our schools and see how they go to determine what course we're going to take in the future. So there's also going to be some limits as far as how the phones are utilized in the classroom as well. So, like I said, this is the first steps in a solution of looking how we're going to deal with the cell phone usage at schools.
Got it. And so do you think there'll ever be a point maybe where cell phones will be kind of banned in some of the schools?
When you say banned, that means that there won't be any usage at all. I foresee where they're restricted more and more and more, but I don't think we'll ever get to a point where there will not have phones at the school, because there are needs and there are times when there's downtime where students can access them. So, it will all, until we see how this year goes and see some of the things we're piloting, then we'll have a better idea of which course of action we're going to take. Well, I think with the legislation that's come out, I think it's a law that due process rights were already being followed. So I think it's just a way the legislators are trying to strengthen what has happened, because I think that there may or may not be districts across the state and nation that aren't actually trying to do and follow the correct course of action and the due process rights for both teachers and students. And I think this is a way for our legislation to go ahead and strengthen that. We do follow the due process rights for both teachers and for students. So this to us isn't as much of a imposition or it's more of, it's just a way for our legislations to strengthen that, and we're already following those. So we don't see it as a critical implementation like other districts may or may not. I don't want to speak for them, but for us, this is just, we're already doing a lot in this order, in this addressing this issue, and so it's not going to add to that. Through the state's Power School, that's where you re-enroll, and we have I would say less than 10% of ours still need to get corrected. We were meeting actually this morning and finalizing our plans for how we're going to address that, so that when parents do show up with students, how we can get them enrolled while they're at the school and get everything moving quickly. Because the sooner we can get them re-enrolled or enrolled, the quicker that we can get them started on their academic journey for the year. Make sure that we have all the correct information, any updated medical information, any update custodial issues, any updated, changes in addresses, changes in phone numbers. There's people forget that, schools have to have contact with the parents for when something arises. And without having the proper information, it makes it difficult for us to get a hold of them. So this just ensures that everybody's on the same page with the correct demographic information, as well as any updated medical. I mean, kids change over time. And so we need to know those things so we can properly take care of the students.